Who's there? Russ? That you, Russ?
No, it's me, Floyd Wilbur. They're coming, Floyd. I've seen them from the ridge.
How many?
15, maybe more. It's getting dark. 15 anyway.
That ought to be enough.
Oh, that leg, Floyd, looks awful bad. You ought to do something about it.
Why'd you come back here, Wilbur? How come you didn't run off with the rest of them yellow-livered skunks?
Oh, I started to, Floyd. I sure did, but then I got to thinking I couldn't leave you here all alone, not the way you are, and that posse coming.
You knew it'd be a fight, and you came back?
I'm here, ain't I?
You know what you're in for?
Oh, I've seen you get out of worse. It's like as not you'd have done all right alone.
Yeah? I got 4 rounds in this one and none in the other. That made the odds a little rough. Here, load them for me.
Huh?
My guns, load them!
For Floyd,
You got bullets, ain't you?
Yes, but I never thought I'd live to see the day that Floyd Winters would trust his guns to another man.
You earned it. You didn't run off with the rest.
If your brother Russ had been here, there wouldn't have been nobody running off.
Yeah, but Russ ain't here. Go ahead, Wilbur. Load him up for me. Funny thing, ain't it? Live with a man 5 years. Don't even know him. Here I figured you'd be the first to yell out and...
I'd spotted a campfire maybe 15 minutes back, just before the trail swung down from Yellow Mesa into the canyon. I'd run into Sheriff Preston and his posse a while back. He told me about finally catching up with Floyd Winters, dead. That didn't hold for Floyd's brother Russ, who was just as mean and still alive. Maybe that campfire had just been my imagination. I'd had a tough 3 months' work pushing cattle over Shepherd Pass. Now I was headed for Single Pine. Figured on spending a couple of days unwinding.
Get your hands up, Russ. Hi. Hi, I said. I ain't bluffing. You ought to know that.
Something you ought to know.
Oh, don't turn around. Just stand like you are here. Oh, you ain't Russ.
I could have told you that.
I thought, well, the way you were standing there.
You thought wrong.
I'm sorry about that. Who are you anyway, and what are you doing on this trail this time of night?
My name's Bonner.
Bonner? Vint Bonner?
Yeah, and suppose you put that gun away.
Yes, sir. I even heard Floyd Winters talk about you.
You knew Floyd Winters? That's nothing. It's just my horse.
Well, I thought for a moment that...
I've been on the trail all day. There's not a soul within 20 miles.
You ain't lying to me. I didn't mean that. Don't pay no attention to me. I'm just kind of upset.
I figure you got a right to be.
What do you mean by that?
You're Wilbur English, aren't you?
Well, how'd you know?
Not too hard to figure. The way you had me pegged as Winters.
Then you know.
Yeah. I ran into Sheriff Preston a while back. The whole posse's talking about it.
Talking about it? You mean it?
About the way you shot Floyd Winters.
How about that? 2 days ago, nobody ever heard of me. And now they're... What they saying?
There's... Well, you'll find out soon enough.
That was something, wasn't it? I mean, me knocking over Floyd the way I did.
That was something.
3 years they've been after him. 3 years they've been trying to get him, and I done it. The top gun like you ought to appreciate a thing like that.
I'm not a gun.
Well, I didn't mean that. I mean, you got a reputation for taking care of yourself. Well, I guess I got one now, too, huh?
Yeah. You've got quite a reputation.
I bet they're all talking about it back at Single Pine.
Single Pine?
That's where I'm supposed to meet up with Sheriff Preston. He told me to go on ahead while the rest of the posse kept after Russ a while longer.
What are his plans?
Well, he's going into Cheyenne tomorrow, deliver a prisoner, and he promised to take me with him. That's where I'm going to get my pardon in Cheyenne and the reward money. Of course, the reward money don't mean nothing.
Well, Preston's a good man. He'll take care of you.
I got to get to Single Pine first. I got to get that far on my own.
It's only a short ride.
Well, I thought, well, you were heading to Single Pine. Well, maybe we could ride in together.
You'll do all right.
Bonner. Mr. Bonner. He's after me, Floyd's brother Russ. He swore he'd kill me. Bonner, I'm begging you. How could it be too much to ask? I'll make it up to you. I'll give you half the reward.
I'll take you in.
You will? Honest?
Just shut up. One thing I can't stand. I'll put my bedroll over here.
I thought, well, maybe we might go on tonight.
Tonight? I've been pushing it since dawn.
I know, but out here, I don't think I'd sleep.
Get your horse.
You won't regret this, Mr. Bonner. I swear it.
Yeah.
I'll get my horse.
English. Just one thing.
Yes, sir, Mr. Bonner.
While we're on the trail, let's say you just ride in front of me. Well, we rode on through the night. Wilbur didn't let up a minute. Just kept twisting and turning in his saddle, looking over his shoulder like any minute somebody was going to send a bullet slamming into his neck. Here we are. What's the matter?
Well, that fellow over there, what?
Where?
For the hardware store. I can't see him real clear, but it looks like Russ.
Looks a whole lot more like Ben Fletcher. That's his hardware store he's leaning up against. Come on inside.
Hello, Pop. That's a fine way for the sheriff to be tending his job. Supposing that had been Russ out there.
Well, it wasn't. Besides, that's not the sheriff. That's Phil Waterman, his deputy. Hey, Phil.
Huh?
Wake up.
Oh, Ben.
Then Barnaby. I heard about you working cattle over on the Shepherd Trail.
Yeah, 3 months of it.
Figured on doing a little unwinding.
That was the idea.
You sure picked a quiet place for it.
I see what you mean.
What? Oh, the nap. I didn't get a wink of sleep last night.
Say, where's Mike?
Well, I lit out for Red Rock about an hour ago. Some noise about Russ Winters being spotted. Yesterday, there's 3 other places.
Russ? You mean they ain't found Russ yet?
You talk about being foxy. That Russ Winters had slipped through a crack and choke a lizard.
What about the sheriff's trip to Cheyenne?
Put it off. Hey! Get out of here! Fool mutt thinks this is a butcher shop.
Put it off? You mean his trip?
That's what he said. Leave tomorrow, maybe next day.
What am I supposed to do? Just sit around and wait?
Who's your friend, Vint?
Thought you knew. This is Wilbur English.
Ah. Well, so that's Wilbur English.
Listen, Phil.
Name's Mr. Waterman.
Well, you got to understand. The sheriff promised he'd see that I got to Cheyenne.
Which he will when he goes himself.
What's he doing about it? He's out gallivanting around.
Now, you looky here. Mike Preston said he'd take you to Cheyenne. He'll take you there. He ain't never gone back on his word yet, not even to no murder and... I forgot. You ain't no outlaw no more. You a public-spirited citizen. All right. You get yourself into that hotel across the street and you stay there. When the sheriff comes back, I'll tell him where you are.
Ain't there no place for me here? I mean, back there?
Cells are full. The hotel, Mr. English, across the street. Now, how'd you ever get mixed up in anything like that?
Kind of accidental. I bumped into him on the trail last night.
Floyd Winters needed killing. There's no arguing that. I guess we all owe English something.
Yeah, I suppose so. Say, the drought let up around here yet?
Why, sure, we got 2 new saloons since you was here.
I didn't mean that. I want to get a bath.
Oh, that. But you can go down to Daggett's 2 blocks down the street if you think you have to.
I have to. See you later. Hold it right where you are. Take your hands out of my bag and keep hold of whatever you've got. Wilbur, you picked the dangest time to get hungry.
It ain't for me, Mr. Bonner. It's for him.
Him?
Poor little fella. For he eats like he ain't been fed in days.
I thought Phil told you to go to the hotel.
Oh, yes, sir, he did.
Well?
Well, I mean, didn't he act sort of funny? I mean, the way he talked to me and...
That's Phil.
Oh, he talked like I was a nobody.
Now, go on to the hotel like he told you. Mike will be back tomorrow, and that'll be that.
Yes, sir, I was just fixing to.
All right.
Where you going?
I've got some business to attend to.
Ain't you going to stay in that hotel over there?
Wilbur, you're not afraid to cross the street, are you?
No, sir. No, it's just that I figured, well, since you were staying in town anyway,
Come on.
your name? $50 apiece.
$50?
In advance.
Look, I was thinking, well, the price of the rooms, well, maybe if we was to share one.
No.
That'll be room 16 and 17. Wilbur English.
Hey, Charlie. It's Wilbur English.
Oh, you boys heard of me?
Well, sure we heard of you. You're a legend. Ain't you a legend, Charlie?
Well, a regular Daniel Boone here, Tell.
Yeah.
A real big gun.
How about that?
You know this fella Dunn, Charlie?
Well, sure. Here was this mean old Floyd Winters, see? And he's got 2 guns right smack into this fella's belly. And do you think Wilbur English was scared? He was not.
Wilbur English ain't scared of nothing. He just looked at old Floyd Winters right in the eye and he went smack. Knocked those guns right out of his hands.
You fellas better not mess with me. You just find trouble.
Sure.
That's Vin Bonner.
Sure.
You hear what he said? That's Vin Bonner.
Well, yes, it is, and I'm Davy Crockett. All right. I reckon I ain't got any argument with you.
Come on, Wilbur.
Give me a piece of paper.
Make it a yellow one.
I finally got Wilbur settled down, and don't think that didn't take some doing. Anyway, I was feeling kind of beat myself. That bath I needed, I could get that later. And I guess I must have been asleep about an hour when... Who is it?
Me, Wilbur.
Oh.
Listen, I got to speak to you.
All right, Wilbur, I'm coming.
He's here, Mr. Bonner, in Single Pine.
Who's here?
Russ Winters, he's right here in town.
Wilbur, you've imagined you've seen him a couple of times before, remember?
You call this imagining thing?
What is it?
Go on, read it.
You don't have much longer to wait, you yellow coward, Russ.
Well,
Where'd you get this?
he slid it under my door.
Did you see him?
I didn't have to.
Look, if Russ Winters were in town, he wouldn't waste any time sending you notes. He'd be calling on you personal.
No, you see, that's just what he would do. He'd like nothing better than to just sit there and
Wilbur,
talk.
if you don't let me get some... You've got me doing it. Jumping at sounds. I give you my word that note doesn't mean anything. It's probably those boys in the lobby.
Yeah, but why? Well, I thought everybody would be grateful for what I'd done. They've been after Floyd for years, and here and I go and do it for him.
That's true.
And now they act as if it were wrong, as if he was some kind of hero or something.
Floyd Winters was no hero, I'll grant you that.
Then why are they all against me?
They're not against you. It's just the way you shot him. And you were a member of the gang.
Well, I ain't never denied that. But I wasn't mean like Russ or Floyd. They just sort of had me hanging around. I guess I did do my share of harm, but I never killed nobody. All the time I was with that gang, I never killed nobody.
You killed Floyd.
That was different. He was an outlaw, wasn't he? He had it coming. Everybody said he did. Well, listen, if I hadn't have shot him, there'd have been more killing. And the posse was coming, and, well, I was sort of saving their lives.
And getting yourself a pardon and a reward.
I wasn't thinking about that.
You weren't, huh?
What good to do me anyway? Russ is out hunting me, and everybody's acting like they'd like to see him get me. Like I was some sort of dirty coward or something. And you think I'm a coward too, don't you?
I didn't say that.
But you're thinking it. I can tell you, you're just like all the rest of them, all of them. Well, I ain't. I ain't a coward at all.
Sit down, Wilbur.
I'm going out there, see? I'm going out there in the street, and I'm going to call out, Russ? Russ, you out there? Will you come on out here, see?
Wilbur, sit down.
Well, you can't stop me. Nobody can. Calling me a coward.
All right. You're not a coward.
You're just saying that.
No, I mean it.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure. I mean it. You're not a coward. Sit down, Wilbur.
Okay, except that... Well, I didn't want you to think that...
All right.
Oh! Mr. Bonner.
What?
There's a train this afternoon leaving for Cheyenne at 4:30.
What about it?
I'd like to be on it.
You're supposed to sit tight.
I know, but it's only a question of time.
Look, if I were in your place...
I know, but you're not in my place.
That's true, I'm not. Well, what'll you do? I mean, after you get to Cheyenne?
I don't know.
You've got some folks? Place, maybe? Everybody's got a place.
No, I never had.
$4:30, huh? I'll see that you're on it. The way they tell it, the train was 20 miles up the line, just pulling out of Red Rock and gaining speed. Not many people had gotten on. Wilbur was sitting by the window looking out at the scenery. In a way, I was kind of sorry to see him go. Not that I'd gotten to like him or anything. Anyway, I reasoned that'd be the last I'd ever see of him. I was right. Because there he met Russ.
Russ, listen, you gotta listen to me. It was either me or Floyd. The posse was coming and I was scared.
Look, I hate knocking the dead as much as anybody, but what am I supposed to do, bleed for him?
Guess you're right.
I just can't figure you, Vint. I mean, a dirty little coward like that.
Just that he wanted so little. Just to be... wanted.
That's my point, what I'm trying to say. What's the loss? Who'd want him?
Who would at that? Come fall, unless your roots are anchored deep, it doesn't take much of a wind to start you rolling on. And me and the tumbleweeds have this in common. We're rooted shallow. It was late October, the sun was still hot, but the nights were getting an edge to them, and wedges of geese lined the sky at sunup. Guess I was following them south.
Yeah, boy. Mister, I wonder if you'd... Mister!
Well, howdy. Hey, let me give you a hand. I walked to before, but I didn't see you come up.
Oh, all right. That's real good. Much obliged. Well, let's see if we can find a shoe to fit you.
Hey, he looks like he's throwed a shoe.
Yeah, about 5 miles back up the road.
No use yelling. He's deaf as a post.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, being deaf has its points, especially when you're married to a woman who rattles on the way I've been doing for the last 50 years. Maybe that's why he lost his hearing, so he wouldn't have to listen to me. Anyways, we made it to our golden anniversary, and we still enjoy having each other around.
Congratulations, ma'am.
Clay,
Yeah.
I got you a present.
A present for me. Ain't gold, is it? Now, Emily, what did I ever do to deserve this?
Just gold-plated for our golden anniversary.
What's that you're saying?
Our golden anniversary.
Oh, our golden anniversary. And I clean forgot.
You'd forget your head if it wasn't tied on. Maybe you just don't want to remember how long it's been. But I do, Mr. Davis, because they've been good years, every one of them.
What's that you're saying?
Nothing. How do you like your belt?
Well, Emily, it's real pretty. But what you should have bought me is one of them there ear trumpets.
All aboard! We're moving out, folks. All aboard!
Throw the box down.
Nothing in it worth stealing.
I'll be the best judge of that. Throw it down. Now your gun.
Old buckle, huh? I'll take that too. Pull it off. I said, give me the belt.
He can't hear you. He's deaf.
Don't touch my...
Come on.
Oh, my darling. Oh.
Haven't you done enough?
I'd seen the geese flying south, and listening to them talking to each other, I thought of what that lady had said about being deaf, and how maybe it has its points. And I wanted to tell her how wrong she was.
Hold it! Kid, he's covered.
Yeah, but why?
Ah, there were two of you. Where's your partner?
There's supposed to be someone else?
Don't be funny.
We want straight answers, and we want them mighty quick.
Kit Springer, isn't it? That any way to say hello?
Bonner? Vin Bonner?
Sure. Why don't you put that thing down and have a cup of coffee?
Well, Vince, what a sight for sore eyes. Put it away, Lex.
You mean you know this fella?
Know him? Why, he and I rode the Bitterroot Range together.
Sorry, we didn't know it was you.
Who did you have in mind?
You see, we're members of a posse. A couple of boys held up the stage last night.
A couple of boys? How did you figure on me? I'm all alone except for my horse Scar here.
You could have split up.
No, men on the run ain't apt to do that. Well, does the order for coffee still hold?
Sure, help yourself. You say they held up a stage.
Yeah.
Could have been the one I saw pulling out of Cottonwood yesterday.
Yeah, more likely. There was some shooting. One of the passengers got himself shot. There you are, Lex. Good and hot.
Thank you.
You know which one it was?
It was some old man. He didn't do what they told him to do on account of he was stone deaf.
Oh, that's too bad. Poor fella. How about his wife?
Nobody hurt her. Just the old man. Oh, this is my brother, Lex. You know, he was just a kid when you and I were riding the Bitterroot Range.
Hi.
Sheriff at Cottonwood. He grabbed a couple of dozen boys and swore us in as a posse. That's why we took a shot at you. We're sorry.
Sorry with me, as long as you missed. Where's the rest of your posse?
With the sheriff. He thinks the killers are headed for Patch Canyon. We don't see it that way.
No, we figured that they would head for the South Pass. Because if they made it, they'd be in the clear. With nobody between them and the border.
Sounds reasonable.
Well, not so reasonable now we run into you. That is, unless you've seen somebody pass during the night.
Only thing I saw was a flight of geese.
Well, I reckon our hunch was wrong. Because they would have to come right by here. This is the only trail, isn't it?
That's right. Of course, I've had my fire burning for a couple of hours. They could have seen it and gone around.
Well, yeah, that's right, Kit. They could have. Maybe our hunch is right yet.
Well, that's no good, even if it is. Because, you see, we don't know the route from here on in. We've never been through the pass.
Thought you boys said you were from Cottonwood.
No. No, we were on our way through Cottonwood when the sheriff grabbed us and put us in the posse. We're from up north, Fort Drexel way.
Yeah. Say, you come through Cottonwood, Bonner. You must be heading south, huh?
That's right, I am.
Well, looks like we hit it lucky, Kit. That is, if you don't mind us riding with you.
Well, sorry with me. Come along. But you sure are going a long way just playing a hunch. It's over a day's travel here through the pass, and you have no assurance that the fellas you're looking for took this trail.
Yeah, we know that, Vance. But for $1,500, we can spare the time. That's the reward they're offering.
$1,500. That's worth taking some time for.
If the posse catches them, that money will be split 40 ways to breakfast. But if we catch them, see what I mean?
Sure. You split it 2 ways.
3, if you're along, Vance. That's $500 apiece.
I'm afraid I can't count that high.
Then you'll take us through the pass.
Sure, since I'm traveling south anyway.
All right, let's get started.
You bring up your horses, and I'll straighten out my gear. Wasn't much of a trail, just a little rocky path that wound up the mountain. It was hard riding, too. I had to hand it to the Springer brothers, though. They never complained. I'd taken this route before, so I knew what to expect. But it was all new to them.
What are we stopping for?
Give the horses some rest. They need it. I'm afraid you fellas are in for a bit of a disappointment.
Oh, about what?
About that $1,500. Hasn't been anybody along this way for 2-3 days. Not since it rained, anyway.
Oh, well, men on the run, they wouldn't leave tracks if they didn't have to, and they wouldn't have to here. They could go around, you know.
Yeah, have you seen any tracks?
I've been so busy riding, I haven't had time to look.
Me neither.
Well, I've been doing enough looking for the 3 of us.
Well, maybe somehow they got ahead of us.
In that case, there wouldn't be much sense in you fellas going on, would there?
What do you think, Lex?
I'd sure hate to turn back now.
Well, why don't you ride up the trail and look for tracks, and I'll climb up here and look back where we've been, huh?
Right.
While you're gone, I'll make us a pot of coffee.
It's too hot for coffee. Don't light a fire.
Oh, it won't take a minute.
I said don't light a fire. I mean, it's just that it's too hot.
I see. Well, maybe you're right. For a big man, you move awful quiet, kid.
I didn't know you were asleep. I didn't mean to wake you. I just wanted to borrow some of that water.
Sure. Help yourself.
Thanks.
You spot anything from up there?
No, not a soul. Did you pick up any tracks?
Oh, there's nothing but rocks up ahead. Oh, I could use some of that. Sure is hot.
You think this is bad? There's about 10 miles up ahead that's nothing but rocks and rattlesnakes.
Well, does it get better after that?
Sure. But by that time, a man's too beat to care. If I were you boys, I'd turn back to Cottonwood.
Well, we've come this far. We might as well go the rest of the way.
Suits yourself. That's a nice-looking belt you're wearing.
Huh?
That belt. I don't think I ever saw one like it. Is it gold?
Oh, yeah. Mex. Got it in Nogales.
Thought you fellas said you were from up north.
Well, we drift a lot. You know, jobs ain't easy to find.
Oh. Sure is a nice belt. Too bad you got it all spotted up there.
Spotted up?
Yeah, looks like dried blood.
That's what it is, all right. I cut my wrist a few days back. Bled all over myself. I'll probably have a heck of a time getting that thing clean.
Yeah, blood stains are apt to be kind of permanent. Too bad. Nice buckle.
Well, if we're going, we'd better get started.
Yeah, guess you're right.
Looks like there's 3 of them now. They must have picked up someone on the trail.
Well, for his sake, I hope he's a friend of the Springer boys.
Why did you tell him that cock and bull story about your wrist? He keeps trying to get a look at your hand.
Well, I had to tell him something.
Well, keep your paws out of sight. Are you still looking for tracks?
No, I'm looking for the trail.
I thought you knew your way around here.
I thought so, too.
Well, we're never going to catch them at this rate.
You're the fellas trying to make the 1,500, not me. Hey, Lex, you happen to have a knife? I gotta make a hole in the cinch.
Sure. Yeah, looks like it's fixing to rain.
It's probably raining down there already.
If it does, we'll never find those tracks. The rain will cover them.
The only tracks on this trail they're gonna cover will be ours. We better be getting on. Oh. I almost forgot to give you your knife back. Say, you're bleeding again.
Yeah? Dang thing keeps breaking open.
Yeah.
easy in my mind again for the first time in hours. Not afraid to turn my back on them anymore. I guess they were what they seemed to be. Two harebrained saddle tramps down on their luck, chasing a rainbow.
Doc, which way would you go?
Not over the South Pass, that's for certain sure. Too tough a trail. Longer to the border that way, but a lot faster, safer, and easier to follow.
You're forgetting one thing. The Springer boys don't know this country.
We're both forgetting something. They picked somebody up along the way. That somebody could know where he was going.
Right. Let's take the South Pass.
Lay off. You want him to get suspicious again?
If he does, it'll be the last time. We don't need him anymore. He's taken us far enough.
He still hasn't said which way the pass is or how far.
Get him to say it. We ought to be moving on and fast.
But you think it's so easy, you get him to say it yourself. Moon ought to be out pretty soon.
About an hour or so.
Think it'll give out much light?
Maybe.
Up to see by?
See what?
Well, you said we were almost through the pass.
We still got some ways to go.
Well, then why did we stop here? The horses could have felt their way.
Simmer down, kid. You're not going to find those men you were looking for. Posse probably caught them hours ago.
Maybe. And maybe not. I'm still playing my hunch.
Any towns up ahead, Bonner?
English Creek, if you want to call that a town.
People live there, don't they?
Hmm.
In that case, maybe somebody's seen those men we're chasing.
Well, we'll find out tomorrow morning. Look, if you fellows are so anxious, why don't you go on ahead? I'll tell you the trail. The trail's pretty good from here to the timberline. You get to the timberline, cross a patch of shale, about 100 yards or so. Then you take a sharp left-hand turn and go straight up. There's a cairn, a pile of stones there to mark the place. Don't miss it, you'll wind up at the foot of a cliff. And at the top of a ridge, you go a couple miles further, and it should be smooth sailing. That is, if you're still in one piece.
Well, Vince, you've sold us.
On what?
About waiting until daylight.
You sure changed your mind fast, but you're smart.
Well, now, look, we're going to shove off early. Now that we know the way, there's no reason for you to get over the chickens, unless you just want to.
That's all right with me. I'm in no hurry.
Well, you'll still come in for the $500, though, as soon as we collect.
Don't mind about that. Like I said, I was going south anyway. It's kind of funny you fellows never went through South Pass before.
What's so funny about it?
Well, you were telling me about all that drifting around.
Never been down this way before.
By the way, who is the sheriff of Cottonwood?
Now, what difference does that make?
I was just trying to remember.
We don't remember his name, Bonner. There wasn't time for any formal knockdown. Folks just called him sheriff.
Well, if I'm still asleep when you boys take off, so long and good luck.
Thanks.
As far as I could tell, they hadn't been lying to me. A man could join up with the posse and not find out the sheriff's name. And I guess a man could ride himself half to death on the off chance of earning a $1,500 reward, if he had a mind to. Of course, Kit's hunch about those outlaws using South Pass for a getaway hadn't worked out. Or had it?
got into you? You had your chance. He was asleep. Why couldn't you do it?
Well, he may have been asleep, but I could see his gun belt sticking out from under the blanket.
Could see his gun belt. You mean you were just looking for an out, any kind of out? Well, not me.
Look, let's go and leave him be. He can be plenty of trouble.
You gone clear yellow or something? He knows our names, what we look like. How long before he figures we're worth $1,500, alive or dead?
You had to go and kill that old man. He only had a few more years to live, and you had to go and kill him.
All those years of hard times, they sure turned you soft, didn't they, brother? Soft and clear yellow.
You got him! Kid! Kid? Kid? You live, Vince, so stop fussing.
What are you doing way out here, Doc?
You just stay put till I finish here. Ain't no law saying a doctor can't go along with a posse, is there? Figured somebody was going to get shot, only I didn't count on it being you.
Neither did I. I hit one of them. Missed the other, I think.
You missed him all right, but you sure scared daylights out of his horse. That critter come down the trail like heck wouldn't have it. When we tried to head him off by firing a shot at him, he went over the cliff. Springer tried to jump clear, but he couldn't seem to tear himself loose from the saddle.
This is why. It got hooked over the saddle horn. The horse drug him down the side of the mountain. He was dead before we could get to him. The young one killed the old man for this when they held up the stagecoach.
Yeah, I talked to the widow. She gave it to him for their 50th wedding anniversary.
Bonner, you're $1,500 richer.
Gold plate. Worth maybe $2, $3. 50 years. Sheriff, would you send that reward money to the old man's widow?
What's your horse, mister? Only a quarter.
Well, he's a smart animal, but he's never been known to untie a knot.
I wasn't thinking of that. It's the perils of natural phenomena.
The what?
Hailstorms, for instance. I could get him to shelter real quick.
Well, now, old-timer, when's the last time you had a hailstorm around these parts?
See now. Must be 10, 11 years.
Well, I'd say you're about due. Seems like a peaceful little town.
Peaceful as they come. Except for last Saturday's fracas. We haven't had a killing here in 5 years, ever since Sheriff Kropp went into office.
Well, judging by the sign outside, I don't see why you should object to a little trouble.
I suppose not. I just couldn't take no pleasure in burying Arnie Ledbetter. Nice young lad like that. Of course, Arnie should have known better than to throw down with Bonner in the first place.
Who? Easy, mister. I almost cut your ear off.
You sure you got your facts straight?
Well, sure. Going up against a man like Vin Bonner is just plain suicide. Here, you can read it yourself. Seen it happen. We're standing at the bar at the Ace High Saloon having a beer. Happened right in front of my eyes.
Give me a towel.
Yeah.
What was the fight about?
Well, nobody seemed to know it happened so fast. Arnie Ledbetter was a big, good-natured Swede. Sober, he'd had sense enough to be scared.
Was it a fair fight?
I used to have a little woman down in Wichita. Had a nasty habit of throwing cookware at me. Well, I didn't think it was fair that I should be a target for a frying pan. Then, on the other hand, she didn't think it was fair that I learned to duck so good. I guess fair is just a matter of your point of view. How would you like some of the finest turkey?
How come nobody tried to stop the fight?
Mister, Arnie Ledbetter was a dead man the moment he got into that quarrel. There wasn't no power on earth could have saved him.
But why would a man like Bonner pick on a helpless drunk?
Well, if you want the answer to that question, you better ask Bonner.
I'll do that.
Interested in hearing the rest of it? What he didn't tell you? That gunman, that Bonner? He don't kill for pure pleasure. What he do, it's got to cost someone. Here he's out of town on a pay job right now.
You know who paid for Ledbetter's death?
You see Arnie's girl, Miss Evelyn Nemack. She has a millinery store. Ask her how come Arnie got himself all of a sudden dead. Yeah, that's her place. Mighty tidy possum, Miss Nemack.
Here, old-timer. Register me in at the hotel. Take care of my horse, too.
I gotta put something on the register book. What name will I sign, mister?
Vin Bonner.
Mr. Beebe, I thought I made it clear I didn't want you hanging around this hotel lobby.
I'm not hanging around. I brought you a customer, friend of mine. Wants your best room.
I don't see a customer.
You will, Mr. Dibler, soon enough.
Check. $1 a day. In advance.
Naturally.
Room 6. Head of the stairs. What's this, some kind of a joke?
On you, maybe.
Calway, what does this mean?
Well, how do I know?
Well, you just better know. Look, you...
Later. I'll explain later.
You better explain. You've got a lot of explaining to do.
Oh, don't worry. It doesn't mean a thing. I'll take care of everything.
You're not wearing black.
But if you are, Bonner, then who was the other man?
That's what I'm here to find out. What are you running away from?
It's finished. This, whatever his name is, shot him. Arnie's dead. Why not leave it alone?
I have to find out why. I heard you could help me.
Do you think I'm beautiful?
Yes?
Arnie thought so, too.
Woman can't much help the way she looks.
No, but she can recognize her own power. And that's what beauty is, you know.
I know you're trying to tell me about Arnie's killing.
Do I have to spell it out for you? A man was paid. A hired killer. Paid to murder Arnie.
Paid by who?
Arnie was an ordinary sort of boy. Good, kind, but oh so ordinary. A letter came in the post today from Arnie's father. He's on his way here for the wedding. You're still wondering what I'm running from? How do you tell a man? Your son is dead. Because of me.
Who underwrote the killing?
I didn't mean anything by it. You've got to believe that much. I never dreamed it would end up this way. To be paid compliments by a gentleman. A man of breeding and refinement. Do you know what that means to a girl in a town like this? It was something I needed. I was just being gracious. You wanted a name. Elston Dibler, the hotel owner.
Thank you.
You see why I'm not wearing black. It wouldn't be proper. Even now, I don't know that I really meant to marry Arnie. Maybe deep down, I was hoping, waiting for something. I don't know.
Kind of a drastic way to break an engagement.
There he is, Sheriff. Civic Reception Committee. That's him, Sheriff. Tell him.
When I need instructions from you, Calloway, I'll get in touch. What's your business in Grizzly Hill, mister?
I'm waiting for Vint Bonner.
I hear you call yourself Bonner.
That's why I'm waiting.
Well, there's two possibilities. A coincidence in names.
He's lying, Sheriff. There's only one Vint Bonner.
Well, that's the other possibility.
There's only one sure way to find out.
Not in my town. I don't care a particle who's the genuine Bonner. You boys want to decide the issue? Decide it somewhere else. And I want you out of town come sunup, mister. No ifs or buts.
You gonna do as he says?
What's the Sharpie got to do with it?
Calloway's found a steady meal ticket in that new boy of his. He sets up the action, gets a slice of the pie for his trouble.
Bonner? I don't wear a gun.
What's the going price of a lovesick young Swede on the hoof?
I want to make it clear I'm not going to fight you.
Of course not. A man of your breeding and refinement would find someone else to do his fighting for him. Stay where you are so I can keep my eye on you.
I don't know what she told you.
You know exactly what she told me.
Arnie Ledbetter was nothing to you. You didn't even know him.
I know him now. How much?
What?
How much?
It's $1,000.
If you want to fix blame, it was her fault. She led me on, played up to me. She's nothing but a cheap little flirt. I'm not going to fight you.
You may not have a choice. Someone used my name to kill a man for money. Before I leave tomorrow morning, I'm going to clean that up. Whatever it takes to do it.
Cost you another $1,000.
You dirty chiseler. You and that ringer. None of this would have happened if you hadn't palmed him off as Vint Bonner.
Oh, wait a minute. You wanted a professional. Someone whose reputation would guarantee the quality of his work. Well, there wasn't time for my boy to build up a trademark, so we borrowed Bonner's. You got no beef. We delivered.
Yeah, trouble. A wagon load of trouble, and by rights it should all be yours.
Except for one thing. See, we don't have to stay in Grizzly Hill. You do. Still cost you another $1,000.
All right. But get it over with. Quick, no mistakes.
My boy will be here before morning.
You, on your feet. Up. Take care of my horse, you.
Looks like you took care of him yourself. Just wonder how he can still stand.
Where do I find Evelyn Nemack? Well, where, I say?
Front Street, down from the hotel. You can't miss it.
You, Isabel.
No, don't say that. I didn't mean anything.
Against his father's wishes, my Arnie leaves the farm. Not yet 20 years old. I warned him. In the cities, I told him you will find women without souls. But he would not listen. I'd almost rather he was dead than married to such as you.
Don't say that. You don't understand.
I went by the graveyard. Nothing to show for 20 years but a wooden marker.
Stop it.
Where is he? This man who shot my Arnie. This Vint Bonner. Where is he?
He's not here. He's away someplace.
He will be back. When?
I don't know. Tomorrow, maybe the next day.
I can wait. To wait is all I have left. What can I do for you? I want a room. $1 a day with breakfast. Sign here. I'll get your key. Where is he? What? Vint Bonner. I want him. Is he here now in this hotel? Well,
My name is Olaf Ledbetter. I come 200 miles to find the man who killed my son. You understand, mister?
Why didn't you say so in the first place? Bonner's in room 6, top of the stairs.
You stay where you are.
I wouldn't budge for anything in the world.
Today you won't sit up. To take from me first my son, then my strength. Why? Why leave me anything at all? My life, take that too.
You're Arnie Ledbetter's father? I know what you're thinking, Mr. Ledbetter, but I didn't shoot your son.
You're Vint Bonner. I saw your name on the book.
Didn't he tell you downstairs?
He told me you were here, that is all.
I might have known. If you looked at the register, you'll notice when I signed in. Today. 5 days after your son was killed. I wasn't anywhere near Grizzly Hill when it happened.
But
you listen to me, Mr. Ledbetter. You knew who he wanted. You could have told him.
You had a gun on my side.
What's the good of all this talk? I know what to do.
You made a promise to me upstairs. We'd do it my way.
I, too, made a promise on my son's grave.
There's only one thing keeping you alive. That's a prejudice I have against shooting anyone in cold blood.
Well, gentlemen, he's here. He said to tell you that he'll be expecting you on the street, Mr. Bonner, in 5 minutes. If you're not there, he's coming after you.
I'll be there.
Your hand is hurt. You cannot fight. You wouldn't stand a chance. I go for the sheriff.
No.
Then I fight myself.
No. You stay here. Your chance may come soon enough.
You're left-handed?
No. But there's still one advantage in my favor.
What's that?
He took my name in the first place because he figured the reputation that went with it would throw a scare into the other fella. Give him an edge. Now he's on the other end. He's up against the man whose name he took. There's a difference. I know. Kellaway already told me the news.
Well, anyway, you don't have to worry about the sheriff busting things up. I sent him out to loose gamblers, chasing rustlers. What's the matter with your gun hand?
Nothing. You better get off the street, old fellow. Things are going to get rough around here.
Better start praying Bonner gets himself killed. If he don't, you're the next one he'll come gunning for.
You heard what he said. He wouldn't kill in cold blood.
You think his blood stays cold? You ever see a man's face after a gunfight? After he's had to kill?
I don't own a gun.
You think that makes any difference?
Figure this is the way to come by our reputation honestly?
You called it.
It won't be as easy as Ledbetter.
School keeps getting harder every day.
You're young. It's a rough school to flunk out of.
Mister, long as I'm wearing this, I don't have to worry about no diploma.
Muller, look out!
Could have just as easily called myself Johnny Ringo.
Satisfied?
I thought it would help. It doesn't. He's just a boy himself.
I'm just leaving, Sheriff.
Had him saddled up an hour ago.
You had a lot of faith in me.
I still do. No charge.
I knew darn well I should have gotten a lady mule. Will you get up?
How do you do, ma'am? Looks like you got some trouble. Give you a hand?
Young man, if you can get this consarn male mule up on his 4 feet, I'll give you $1.
Well, never mind that. Let's see what we can do. Just needed a little encouragement and understanding.
Well, here you are, young man.
I just got paid, ma'am.
I said I'd pay you, now take it.
All right. Say, maybe you could use a couple of matches, just in case. Aren't you a little afraid out here all by yourself?
Of course not.
One lone woman.
Young man, I can take care of myself as good as any man that ever lived. And besides, if I did get into any trouble, I know how to handle this.
I believe you.
Sounds of the rude world heard through the day, lulled by the moonlight, have all passed away. Beautiful dreamer.
What's the town council going to do? Something's got to be done, and done fast.
Now, we're working on it, Mr. Black.
Joe, hear what you done to Pineville? My brother wrote to me. It was awful.
Yes, I know it was, but Hey, Vince!
Oh, hi there, Mr. Mayor. You men look like you got trouble.
That we have.
What's the matter? Did the Apaches break out of the reservation?
Well, it's worse than that. A lot worse.
What is it, then?
A new kind of woman.
You mean a woman's the cause of all these long faces?
Well, it ain't funny. She just about wrecked Pineville.
What kind of a woman is this?
Well, she's something called a suffragette. Back east, these women clubs are campaigning for the rights of females. They say not only should they have the right to vote, but they should have equal rights with men in the home.
That's right. They're swarming all over the east like grasshoppers. My brother wrote to me from Pineville. He said one of them just left there was headed this way.
Well, what does she do?
Confuse the women folk. By filling them with fancy ideas.
How does she do that?
By lying to them. Telling them they are just as good as men. And now they should have the votes. Now, can you imagine what would happen to this country if women could vote? Here, Vin, look at this poster.
Ladies, are you your husband's mate or slave? Hear the word of Susan B. Anthony, Emma Burt Speaker, Town Hall today.
Uh-oh. Here she comes.
Too late. See what I mean, Vince?
You can't tell me a little woman like that can cause much trouble.
Now, look here. Maybe you could help us. All of us here are married men, but you're a bachelor. Now, you must be pretty smart with women who've stayed that way that long.
I can't help it. She's not breaking any laws.
What do you mean you can't?
I came here to get some rest, and that's what I'm gonna get.
But, Vin...
If you'll take my advice, you'll just leave her be. Unless she breaks the law, that is.
While they're courting us, they talk mighty sweet talk. But as soon as we promise to love, honor, and obey them, well, they give their cattle more privileges than their women.
Yes,
How many of you are killing yourself? How many of you lie awake half the night worrying while that man cavorts in the saloon, gorging himself on strong drink? Ladies, we have suffered too long, but the day is at hand.
Here you are.
You say there's nothing going on in there, then why don't you do it?
Because you're the sheriff and it's your duty.
That's right. You took an oath to defend us. Now live up to it, Dratton.
United, we shall have the vote and equal rights and our freedom.
Dratton, what are you doing in here?
Now, Amy, this here's official business.
Official business?
Ma'am, the town council has just passed a new ordinance. Meetings of more than 5 ladies at a time is against the law.
What?
It's a law, Amy.
They have no right to do it.
Ladies, take your seats, please. Sit down, ladies. What? This is exactly what I was talking about.
You never saw so many wet hens.
The way those women piled out of there.
And you did it, son. Yes, sirree. You showed us how to get rid of that woman.
I did. I did?
Sure. You said leave her be unless she breaks the law. So we made a law and she broke it.
Come on, get your clothes on, boy.
Oh, wait a minute.
Now, look, I want to get some rest. We're going to give you the best celebration dinner a man ever had. Come on, Duchess. Come on. Come on, Duchess. Come on, Ben. Come on in, Vince. You make yourself comfortable. I'll tell her we're here.
Thank you.
Hello, Vin.
Oh, hello, Mrs. Mercer.
It's been a long time.
That it has.
Woman, where's our supper? Well, don't you recollect that I told you I was bringing Vin home?
Yeah, I remember. I'm sorry for you, Vint.
Sorry for him? Why?
'Cause I ain't cooking your supper tonight.
You ain't what?
Cooking. Tonight or no time. Till you treat me better than you do that pesky dog.
You see, Vince? You see what I told you about that woman?
Miss Birch, if you please. If she hadn't come and opened my eyes, I'd have gone through life just being a slave.
Well, we'll go someplace we're more welcome. Come on, Vint. Woman, you're gonna regret the day you ever heard of Emma Birch.
Goodbye, Miss Mercer.
Come on, Vint.
And you stay out of here. And don't you expect me to do
one blessed thing for you until you're ready to give me the respect I deserve. You hear, Henry Peabody?
Yes, I hear. Just you wait. We'll show that woman up.
You leave her be if you know what's good for you. Now get!
Just like the old days.
And Emma Birch really made this place come to life.
Well, what are we waiting for?
Come on, boy. I got a thirst. First drinks on the house tonight, boy.
How's the food here, Mr. Mayor?
Food? Well, it's not as good as Martha's, but who needs food, eh?
Why, Mr. Mayor, it's sure an unexpected pleasure to see you.
Sure is.
Little Peabody, where you been keeping yourself?
Well, Annie, you know...
What's the matter? Don't you like me anymore?
Sure he does, more than ever. Don't you, Peabody?
That's right. Who needs wives?
Have another drink, boys.
I'm certainly glad you boys have come back to where you're appreciated.
Mr. Bonner, I will get Lucy for you. Ladies, I want a word with you.
Who is it?
It's me, Vin. Pete Mercer.
Oh, no. The door's open. Come in. What do you want?
Vince, you gotta let me stay with you.
Why?
She put me out.
Who put you out?
Martha, what do you think? When I got home from the fat dog, she said my place was out in the barn with the other animals. Now I ask you.
What did you do?
Nothing. I didn't even breathe on her. Hope you don't mind my sharing a room with you.
I certainly do mind. Just because you men can't handle one little woman, I'm thinking of joining a cattle drive just to get some rest. Now you go downstairs and get yourself a room of your own.
Well, I can't. Ain't a single room left in the whole town.
You mean she told all the wives to...
Yeah.
And they did?
You said she wasn't dangerous.
The next morning, I decided to take a look around the town. You know, there wasn't hardly a man to be seen anywhere.
Ben!
Hello, Henry. Say, where are all the men?
Well, where do you think? Doing chores.
Doing what?
Yeah. The fool female said they wouldn't lift a hand until we gave them their equal rights. Well, we'll show them, by golly. There's nothing to doing a few simple chores.
To you for a moment.
Sure.
Mr. Bonner, the girls from the Fat Dog asked me to come to you.
What about?
About this equal rights business and Miss Birch. Well, she wants us to join up with the ladies of the town. Even go out to their headquarters.
Well, when Miss Birch talks about equal rights, I don't think she means just the married women. Why don't a couple of you girls go out and see if she means it?
I guess we could. Thanks, Mr. Bonner.
Now, just what is it you want me to do?
Oh, now, Vin, it ain't like we were asking you to do anything illegal.
All we want you to do is to go out there and ask her how much she'll take to leave town.
You mean offer her a bribe?
Well, what's wrong with that? Yeah, the boys are losing money by having to stay home and do the women's chores, aren't you, boys?
That's right.
That's right.
So it'll be cheaper to pay her off.
Well, I don't think it'll do any good, but I'll try.
All right, Mr. Bonner, let's hear it.
Well, Miss Birch.
Now, sit down, young man.
Well,
What do those men think they have to offer?
well, Miss Birch, this is not my idea. But they want to know how much you'd take to leave town.
Mr. Bonner, the last time I was made that offer, the man left town.
Oh.
It was my second husband. Surprised to learn I've been married, Mr. Bonner?
Yes, ma'am, a little. Seeing as how you feel about men.
I don't feel any way about you men. What I'm against is the way you treat us women. We're not lackeys. We want respect.
No.
You've got to start treating us as...
Miss Birch, don't go on at me. I'm neutral.
How can you be neutral? You're a man, aren't you?
Well, yes, ma'am, but, you see, I've never been married.
You a coward?
Yes, ma'am.
Excuse me, Emma, but we're ready to start.
I'll be right there, Martha. Mr. Bonner... Mr. Bonner, you tell those old fools that I'm not dealing with any bachelor. If they want to hear my terms, I'll see them at the meeting hall tomorrow noon.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, of all the low-down nerve. Well, if she thinks we're going to show up at that town hall, she's almighty mistaken.
Did you say what would happen if we didn't show up?
Well, she did say that if you didn't, why, it would be another week before she'd think of making a deal.
What?
That's what she said.
Well, it's against nature. That's what it is. It's against nature, isn't it?
Right. We should never have come here in the... I told you it was a mistake.
Gentlemen. Gentlemen. Ladies. If any of you men are thinking of making peace with your woman, well, you just better listen. Mr. Bonner, since you are neutral, would you mind officiating?
No, ma'am. This is a proposition set forth by these ladies here. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men and women are created equal. And that men and women are endowed with certain inalienable rights. And those grievances set forth by the women of Roan Horse shall be recognized, and each husband shall sign a pledge swearing to correct his faults.
Pledges? Faults? What faults we got?
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Bonner.
Bonner's a traitor. Worse than that, he's a bachelor.
Hey, I thought you were on our side.
What's the matter with you?
Ladies, would each of you state the grievance you have against your man? Mrs. Peabody.
Spitting on the floor. Always missing the cuspidor.
Well, I hit it half the time.
belching at the supper table.
Well, I want him to stop kissing the dog and start kissing me.
These are the pledges. If you men accept these conditions, you'll sign.
Never. We ain't signing nothing. That's right. What do you think we are, sheep? I'm getting out of here. Come on, boys.
Vince, you should be ashamed of yourself.
Well, you're,
I thought you're on our side.
You're not gonna sign, huh, boys?
Of course not. Are we?
No.
No, indeed.
Well, you're the mayor, Pete. We'll do as you say.
What do you mean you'll do as I say? Ain't you got gumption enough to walk out of here alone?
Oh, Henry, can I talk to you for a minute alone?
Excuse me.
Why, you lily-livered...
John.
Ralphie.
Well, Mayor, looks like it's going to be a long, cold winter for us. Not for them, huh? Let's have some dinner.
Just a minute, Vint. You got a pencil?
Just happen to have one here. Oh, yes, Miss Birch. Well, I guess you did what you came here to do. Of course, I can't rightly say I think the men are going to get used to the new order very quickly.
There's nothing like a marriage that's based on an equal partnership.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Tell me something, Mr. Bonner.
Yes, ma'am.
Why are you still a bachelor?
Well, Miss Birch, I just,
Oh, come on now. You ought to settle
Birch,
down.
that's
I've got
fine.
the loveliest daughter back
You
east,
have.
just
Well, Miss
22.
Birch,
Oh, she's a fine
got a
girl
horse.
with a fine girl. Fine character. She takes after me, Mr. Bonner. I raised her myself. You go, Mr. Bonner. She's a lovely girl. Mr. Bonner, where are you going? Mr. Bonner, come back here. Come back. Don't be a coward. It's the only natural thing to do.
Fletcherville wasn't any gay Paris or anything, but coming off the range, it was buildings and people. Things I'd begun to miss. It was other things, too. Wanted. Dead or alive, Billy Sparks, for murder and mayhem. Well, guess that came along with the town, along with buildings and people.
Get out of here!
Tough, aren't you? Pushing a woman around, that takes some real men.
You're not wanted around this town, Mrs. Sparks. It's time you understood that.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Sparks, but you stay away. All you bring is trouble. Your own Paul won't lift a hand to help you. I can't help you no more, Mrs. Sparks. I can't help you no more either.
You're big, brave men, when all you have to fight are women and boys.
Helen Brecker. You do remember me, don't you?
Vin Bonner.
That's right.
Thanks for speaking to me, Vin.
Thanks for speaking. As bad as all that?
You just saw.
Good citizens of Fletcherville don't waste words on Billy Sparks' wife.
They won't like the idea of you talking to me either.
You don't think I'd let that bother me, do you?
Maybe it should. You just saw what they did to poor Tommy.
Where are you living now?
Cabin out at the end of town. Was the one my father built when I was a girl, remember?
By the way, how is Strad?
That was him you just saw right off on the horse. It's the first time I've seen him myself since I came back to Fletcherville. He sent word that I could use the cabin. No one was living there anyway. But I wasn't to come near his home or see him for as long as I live. Get up.
Vin Bonner, aren't you?
That's right.
You a friend of Helen's?
I know the Bricker family.
You know Billy Sparks?
I've heard of him. You'd be Dave Fletcher's son.
I was. Before Billy Sparks killed him. Any news yet?
Not yet, Mr. Fletcher.
Jim, what's going on?
Come on inside, man. Dave Fletcher built this town, Vent. Ain't a man, woman, or child in Fletcherville who isn't beholden to him. Billy Sparks shot him down in cold blood.
That explains the poster.
That was over a year ago. Billy held up his bank. That's when it happened. Well, they just caught him a couple of months ago in Junction City. That's where Sheriff Ritter is.
When's the hanging supposed to take place?
This week sometime. The date ain't certain yet. See if you got any mail. No mail, Vince. Sorry.
Oh, I didn't really expect any. Helen Bricker. I hardly recognized her. And I didn't know her father.
Well, Strad ain't never really been the same. Not since she married Billy. Strad disowned her. That's all there is left of the Brickers, just a father and a daughter. Not one word spoken between them in 7 years.
That's too bad. Well, I'm going to be in town a couple of days. I'll drop by later for my mail.
Now, you be careful, Vent. If I was you, I wouldn't have nothing to do with her. Everyone in this town is dead set against her.
Fletcherville's her home. I guess she's got a right to come back to it.
Fella that put this heel on just didn't know his trade. Ain't no reason for a nail to go through on the inside there if the heel was put on proper. Who made these boots for you anyway, Vint?
Let me see. Come to think about it, I think you did.
Me? You dang well know I didn't. I know my own work. I never turned out a pair of boots like that even when I was apprenticed.
Oh, we can soon find out. Look on the inside of the heel. I think your mark's there.
Hmm? Well, I'll be. How'd that ever get inside there?
Just got the word, Seth. Looks like they're not going to wait very much longer. They're going to string him up today.
Today?
Yeah. What's the matter? You don't look too happy.
What time today?
Sundown. The sheriff's staying over to claim the body for the next of kin. You know who that means. We're meeting out at Joel Fletcher's half hour before sundown.
Why?
You know why. Same time the state's getting rid of one of the Sparks, we'll be getting rid of the other.
How do you plan to do that?
Huh?
How are you going to get rid of the other Sparks?
We figure on letting Joel Fletcher handle that. It's his right. Was his paw Billy Sparks killed?
Seems to me this town's got a good case of lynch fever.
Seems like it's the town's business. None of yours, mister.
Don't get your quills up, Vint. There's just some things you can't do nothing about.
There's some things that need doing something about.
You don't understand, Vint. You're a rolling stone. Me, I'm in business in Fletcherville. So is Jim Pincher. The whole town is Fletcher built and run. I do like Joel tells me, and I get along. People ain't going to forget Dave Fletcher. Even Strad Bricker won't lift a hand for his daughter.
Seems to me I remember once that Joel and Helen Bricker were going to be married.
Yes, that was a long time ago. Two families had it kind of figured that way. Broke her paw's heart she didn't marry Joel. Dave Fletcher saved Strad's ranch once, and he stood the game before closing, too. Billy Sparks isn't worth a hair of Dave Fletcher.
Well, I'll be back to those boots later.
Vint, we all know you. It ain't a matter of you fighting for Helen. It's who you're fighting against. It's more than Joel. More than just one man. It's a whole town.
Seth, you stick to your last, and I'll stick to mine.
Suppose you heard the news, Bonner. They're hanging Billy Sparks this afternoon.
I heard something else I didn't like the sound of.
Suppose you just mind your own business.
I should think a whole town against one woman would be anybody's business.
You're not foolish enough to think there's anything you can do about it.
I don't know. But I might be foolish enough to try. You like to play with that thing, don't you?
I know how to use it, too. You might remember that.
I'll remember.
That's good. And while you're remembering, there's just one other thing. Stay away from Helen Bricker.
Here's something for you, too. I don't do business in this town. That's one advantage of being a rolling stone. Helen, you're still young. You could go someplace else, start all over again. You've got your whole life ahead of you. Bitterness and false pride do terrible things to a person.
I'm Strad Bricker's daughter. I can fight just as hard and last as long as he can.
Fight what? And for what? And in the end, what do you gain?
What do I gain? The knowledge that I'm just as strong or stronger than they are.
Oh, you'll have that all right. You'll have that. And then you'll have the battle scars to go with it. All of a sudden you'll be old and lonely, like your father. There's only one thing sadder than a lonely old man.
Then I know what you're trying to do. When I'm ready to change my mind, I'll change it. This is my home. I was born here, and I'm going to stay.
All right. Helen. I didn't want to tell you this. They're hanging your husband today at sundown. And at the same time they're hanging him, your neighbors are planning something for you. I don't know what.
I rode out to see Stradbricker. I didn't know what to expect or just what I would say to him. Maybe Joe Fletcher was right. Maybe I was being a little foolish. But I didn't like him saying it.
Live in the same town and don't see each other?
Vint, if you've come here to try to fix things up between us, you're wasting your time.
Well, I know it's none of my business.
I told her he was no good before she married him. I told her, but she knew more than everybody else. She wouldn't listen to me.
I guess it's pretty hard to see a person's faults when you're in love with them.
It had to take a lot to love Billy Sparks. Gun-happy fool. I was on the posse that went after him when he killed Fletcher. I went after my own son-in-law. Every man worth his salt in this town was on that posse. They don't come any better than Dave Fletcher. I owe everything I've got to him.
More than you owe your own daughter?
I haven't got a daughter. I'm not concerned with her anymore.
Yes, you are. You and the whole town are concerned. You're judging her and blaming her for something her husband did.
She doesn't have to stay here.
Oh, I didn't hear her complain. I don't think in all the time I've known the Bricker family I've heard anyone complain.
She's not a Bricker. She's Mrs. Billy Sparks, a murderer's wife. I'd sooner see her horsewhipped than have her called a Bricker.
I think maybe somebody has the idea to do just that.
What?
Joel Fletcher seems kind of handy with that whip he carries.
It's none of my business what he does.
Oh, I don't know. I've known you for a long time, Strad. I don't think you'd feel very good about it if any harm came to Helen.
Harm?
I hear some of the citizens are going to pay a visit to Helen at sundown. At the same time, they're hanging Billy in Junction City.
Ah, it's a lot of talk. Joel's excitable. He doesn't mean any harm. Besides, the sheriff would stop it.
The sheriff will be in Junction City till after the hanging.
Ah, what does she expect? Maybe it'll be all for the best. She doesn't belong in Fletcherville. This isn't her home, not anymore. Besides, if she needed anything, all she ever had to do was to come to me and ask.
You know she wouldn't do that. She's your own daughter.
Then why doesn't she say she's wrong? Why doesn't she come to me and say she's sorry? If she'd ask forgiveness, maybe I'd care what happens to her. Don't you see that, Vint? Then maybe I'd care.
Yeah. Yeah, I see.
Look, I know you're trying to be a friend, but no matter what anybody says or tries to do, I'm not leaving Fletcherville.
You are just as stubborn as your father. Aren't you going to ask me how he is?
I know how he is. He showed me this morning. He showed me plain.
Helen, I think I know you well enough to ask a question. Maybe you didn't know what Billy was like when you married him. But why did you stick with him after he killed Fletcher?
Well, I took vows, Vint.
And he gave you plenty of grounds to break them.
I'm my father's daughter. If I make a bargain or give my word good or bad, I'll stick to it. The sun's going down, Vint.
I understand you could have married Joel Fletcher.
Joel Fletcher? Did you get a good look at him this morning? You think he's any better than Billy? Besides, I wasn't going to be pushed into marriage because my father was beholden to his father.
With Sheriff Ritter away, there's no lawman to protect you, Helen.
Oh, I'm capable of protecting myself. Thanks, Vint. I'll be all right. I have this, and I know how to use it.
Helen.
I'll kill the first person who comes near this cabin. I mean it, Vint. I'm Billy Sparks' wife. A killer's wife, remember?
There's just a chance this town may forget. But if there's any gunplay here today, they never will.
I don't care if they do or don't. I married Billy. Nobody forced me to. I don't expect any favors now.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. I don't think you're going to get any.
I told you to leave before they got here.
Give me that gun. You can get out the back way. I'll stall them.
I never thought I'd hear Vint Bonner tell anyone to run from a fight.
You never saw me walk right into one either. That's a mob out there. Do you know what a mob is? You think it's just a bunch of people? Well, it's not. It's the lowest form of animal.
Well, where do I run, Mr. Bonner? And when do I stop?
Mrs. Sparks? Mrs. Sparks, you here? We're giving you 2 minutes to come out.
I'll give you less than that to get off my property.
Now you stay here.
I don't want you taking my part, Vint.
It's those fools out there I'm worried about.
We're coming in.
Staying out.
Get out of the way. This doesn't concern you.
Fletcher, I've seen men stoop pretty low. But what you're leading these men to do makes you kind of special.
This is none of your business, Bonner. I told you that. As for what we're planning, all we're going to do is give Mrs. Sparks a taste of the whip. Enough so she won't show her face in Fletcherville again.
Are you sure that's the reason? Or is it because her name's Mrs. Sparks and not Mrs. Fletcher?
You don't seriously believe that's why we're here?
Don't I? You wouldn't be the first man to lead people into doing things for one reason when the real reason was a hidden one of your own.
You're talking wild, Bonner. Now get out of our way. We're going to let one man tell us what we can do or what we can't do. This is our town, isn't it? Yes. Billy Sparks is dancing on air right now. I say let's get rid of the rest of his rotten family.
Stop! All of you, listen to me. I'll leave your town. Before I go, there's something you ought to know. You said Billy Sparks was dancing on air. You ever think what that must mean to me? All of you. Did you ever think what it was like for me? I had to live with him for 7 years. All right, go ahead. You think you're the only one who knows how to use a whip? Billy Sparks knew how to.
Can you forgive me, Helen? I didn't know. I'm sorry.
Listen to me. Listen to me, all of you. Just because...
Your father was a good man. Everyone here has cause to know that. But you aren't him or anything like him. If he were here to see this day's work, he'd be ashamed, as I am right now. He'd be ashamed this town bears his name.
I don't think you're going to get a chance to use that today.
This is all your fault, Bonner. If it hadn't been for you.
You wouldn't have lasted long anyway. People have a habit of finding out tin gods sooner or later.
You're a big man with a gun in your hand.
I'll throw away my gun if you'll do the same with that whip. It's all right.
Hot summer days when thirsts and tempers run high that I arrived in the town of Harness Junction. I'd come into Harness for the Circle Oak cattle drive. I had a few days layover, which I thought I'd use to look up the Harcourt brothers. Sons of an old friend who died a few years back.
Looks like I found the youngest one, Lex.
I said stop it!
You all right, Jim? All right, get up. I said get up! Go on home. I said get. Vint Bonner.
Hi, Cash.
When'd you get in town?
I don't know exactly the round, but I was here in time for the knockout.
That kid. I don't know what I'm going to do with him. Come on in the office. Rest your legs. Sorry you had to see that, Vint. Sorry still I had to do it.
Seems to me you outweigh Lex a few pounds.
I know. I hate to use my hands on that kid.
Then why do you do it?
Look, Vint, it's not as though I don't have good reason to. That kid's got a chip on his shoulder a mile wide.
To match the one on yours? You were a lot like him at his age.
The old man knocked it out of me. I'm going to have to knock it out of Lex. He's got a temper building inside him like a Texas tornado. You down here for the Circle O drive to Durango?
That's right. I'm a few days early, though. They're still out on the trail.
Well, you're going to stay with us till they come in. Of course, there's been a few changes made.
Oh, did you move from the old house?
No, still live in the same old house. Me and Bess both.
Bess? Oh, you got a new horse?
No, I didn't get a new horse. I got married.
You got what?
That's right, I got married. Prettiest girl in town, and a good cook.
Congratulations. I never thought you'd make it. Look, I can't barge in.
Anytime you're in town, you're going to stay with us, just like when the old man was alive.
I'll just get a room at the hotel.
Vin, I'm the law around here. You want to stay out of trouble, you do as I say.
I'll go quietly, Sheriff.
Bessie! How's my wife, huh?
And how's my husband?
Honey, I want you to meet Vint Bonner. You've heard me talk about him.
Nice to know you, ma'am.
He's going to stay with us a few days till the Circle O drive starts.
It'd be a pleasure.
Come on, Vin, I'll show you to your room.
Cash,
Yeah, Bess.
it's all over town about your brawling with Lex.
Honey, that kid was fighting in the street again. I had to do it.
You could have stopped it. Peacefully, sensibly. You didn't have to humiliate Lex in front of the whole town.
Come on.
Come in. Oh, hi there, Lex. Come on in.
Hi, Vin.
Where you been keeping yourself, boy?
Just around. Here you're going to Durango with that Circle O outfit.
That's right.
How many men do you think they have?
Oh, 50, maybe 60.
Think they could use an extra hand?
I guess they might.
What's the matter? Don't you think I'd do?
Now, wait a minute, boy. I didn't say that.
You willing to put in a word for me?
Sure. I'll put in a word for you.
Did you ask Cash about this?
Oh, I don't have to ask Cash. I don't have to ask Cash about anything.
He is your older brother.
Oh, sure, he's my brother, but he ain't my father, which he's always trying to be.
No, Lex, he isn't your father.
Then it's just no use. I gotta get out of this house.
What's the matter? You got sister-in-law trouble?
No. It's not Bess, she's swell. It's Cash. He treats me like I was a school kid or something. Then you just gotta help me, that's all. Look, would you talk to Cash, please? Well, he likes you very much. He's always talking about you.
Sure. I'll talk to him.
Thanks, man.
That was a mighty fine meal.
Bess never misses. How about it, Cash? Vince said he'd put in a word for me.
Lex, you don't have the foggiest notion of what one of these cattle drives means. You wouldn't last more than a week.
Well, maybe I would and maybe I wouldn't.
You gotta be tough, like Rawhide. You ask Vint, he knows, he'll tell you.
Look, it ain't gonna do no harm to try.
If you're so anxious for a job, there's plenty of things to do in town. Why don't you go down and see Mr. Fleming?
Well, look, I ain't interested in cleaning out somebody's livery stable.
Your trouble is you're not interested in doing anything you're fit for. Boy, the last couple of years you sure been hard to take.
Well, you ain't exactly been a picnic either.
Oh, hold it, you knotheads. Look, maybe Lex has a point.
Vint, this is between us. Vint, what got into you egging him on with this cattle drive nonsense?
You asked me if the Circle needed men. I said yes.
Well, I know, but you should have told... Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't be hanging out the family wash in front of you. Boy, that kid just about has me licked.
Maybe he's not such a kid as you think. You're riding him too hard.
The old man rode me plenty hard. Never hurt me any.
What about Lex? You think it's hurting him?
Nobody's laughing at you, Lex.
Well, you're lying at him, Roby. And all of you lying. You're laughing at me. You think I'm just a fool kid.
Now, Lex, we don't think anything of the kind. You go on home before your brother sees you like this.
My brother. Well, I want to tell you something. He doesn't own this town. And he doesn't own me either. And when are you going to get that through your fool heads?
Well, Lex, you're not talking to a bunch of schoolboys. You go on home. And if you're not man enough to hold your liquor, lay off it.
Well, I'll show you who's man enough to hold his liquor.
I'm at your winger.
Get the doctor.
Sure. Jim, you better go tell the sheriff. It was too late, Cash. He was dead when the doc got here. Cash, I'm sorry. Where are you going?
To get Adam Roby.
I'd sure hate to be in Roby's shoes when they meet up.
Whoa! Adam! What's going on?
I'll need some food, Polly. Enough for a couple of days, maybe.
Adam, what's happening? I don't understand.
I'm in trouble, Polly. Bad trouble. That fool kid, Lex Harcourt, he drew on me. I shot him.
You shot Lex Harcourt?
I told you he drew on me.
Adam, he isn't...
He's dead. Look, I can't stop to explain. I gotta get moving. You just gotta believe it wasn't my fault.
Well, if it wasn't your fault, why are you running away?
To keep Cash Harcourt from killing me.
But Cash is the sheriff here. He wouldn't do any...
Wouldn't he? Lex was his brother.
Oh, Adam. Adam, I don't want anything to happen to you.
Maybe it won't if I can make it to Standish Falls and turn myself into the marshal.
It's gonna be dark soon. You'll have to take the road, and then what'll happen?
Yes, I know I can't risk it tonight. There's that cabin up on Rocky Creek. I could spend the night there and make it to Standish Falls the next day.
Oh, Adam, please. Please, I don't want you to go.
I haven't got much choice, Polly. Not if I want to stay alive. Listen, Vint Bonner's in town. You know the man they call the six-shooter?
Well, can he help us?
I don't know. I've heard men speak well of him. Find him, Polly. Explain that I'd be willing to give myself up to him.
Adam.
Vince, this is Adam Roby's wife, Polly. We're old friends. We went to school together.
How do you do, ma'am?
My husband's in trouble, Mr. Bonner. He asked me to come see you. He needs your help.
This is a matter for the law.
Cash Harcourt's the law in Harness Junction. If he gets his hands on my husband, it won't be to put him in jail. It'll be to kill him.
Cash is a good sheriff. I can't think
He's Lex's brother. He'll have to avenge him.
Look, I admit he was mighty upset. But there'll be no gunplay if I judge him right.
You judge him wrong, Mr. Bonner. Please. All Adam asks is a fair trial.
He wants to give himself up. To you.
Why me?
So that you can take him to the district marshal at Standish Falls. That's the only way he can keep from shooting it out with Cash.
A sheriff is sworn to uphold the law. I can't believe he wouldn't handle this right.
I can. Then I know Cash. Bess, I don't want to come between you and your husband. You're not, Polly. Outside of me, Lex was the only other person on this earth that Cash cared about. Maybe in the wrong way, but he cared. Now he'll blame himself for what's happened. He'll want to take it out on somebody. There'll be no stopping to listen to reason.
Bess, don't you understand? Even if I wanted to, I have no right to interfere.
Vint, you're his friend. It's Cash's whole life that'll be ruined if he kills an innocent man.
I'm sorry.
Ben, I didn't want to say this out there. But don't you know why Cash will feel he must get even for Lex?
Do you know, Bess?
Yes. Because way down deep inside, he knows he's made a terrible mistake in the way he raised his brother. He's too proud to admit it. And if he did, he'd only have to blame himself for Lex's death. And no man can do that too easily.
Same trouble as the old man. Too tight a rein. Too much spur.
I tried to tell Cash to let up. He just wouldn't listen. You look tired.
Saw a woman leaving the house just now. Who was it?
Polly Roby.
When I got out to their place, they were both gone. Where's her husband?
She didn't say. She's got some fool notion you'll go gunning for him instead of turning him over to the marshal at Standish Falls.
That's not the only reason she came here. What else, Vint?
She asked me to see that he got there. Safely.
I don't want you interfering.
Now, you calm down a minute and listen to me. Something you're going to have to face. Roby shot Lex in self-defense.
He's a liar.
He's got witnesses.
Witnesses, not one of them telling the truth. People like Lloyd Mason, his son, who never even liked Lex.
Cash, you're twisting this out of shape.
When I want your advice, I'll ask for it. Bess? Did she say where Adam Roby was hiding?
No.
You're not against me on this.
Cash, she didn't say.
I'll find him tomorrow.
Tomorrow he'll be on his way to Standish Falls.
Hardly. I got 2 deputies watching the road.
Cash! If you like, I'll go out with you tomorrow.
That won't be necessary.
Why not?
I don't want anyone interfering with the way I carry out the law.
Cash. I'm not sure you intend to carry out the law.
I think maybe it was a good idea about your staying at the hotel. And you clear your things up by tomorrow.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Can I fix you some breakfast?
Cash might pick up Roby's trail. It's best I go.
Ben, if anything goes wrong, well, I mean, Cash mustn't ever find out I told you where Adam is hiding.
Don't worry, Bess. Cash won't find out. And nothing's going wrong.
Wasting your time around here, Sheriff. Adam's gone.
Where is he?
I don't know.
I think you do, Mrs. Roby. You'd better tell me.
Why? So you can find him and gun him down?
I'll find him, Mrs. Roby. Don't you fret about that. I'll find him.
Cash, please. It wasn't Adam's fault. Give him a chance.
I'll give him a chance. Same kind of chance he gave Lex.
Cash, you've no right to hunt him down like that. He's a man. He deserves the protection of the law. You're the sheriff here. When are you going to remember that you're the sheriff?
Roby, it's Vint Bonner. Put that gun down.
You alone?
That's right.
You're going to help me get to Standish Falls?
If that's what you want.
That's what I want.
All right, let's go.
You wouldn't fool me, would you, Bonner?
If you thought I would, you'd use that rifle, wouldn't you?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's just that I know Cash Harcourt's a friend of yours.
Maybe that's why I'm doing this.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Bonner, for changing your mind about helping Adam.
I haven't done anything yet.
Well, you will. If anybody can get him to Standish Falls, you can.
Let's see. Are you sure Cash Harcourt didn't follow you?
What? I don't think so. Well, I wouldn't have come if I'd known you'd be here.
Let's get going. We'll take the South Fork around Harness Junction.
How do you find us?
You followed your wife. You know what you're doing, Sheriff?
I told you to stay out of this!
I'm not going to use my gun, Cash. If you're set on shooting somebody, go ahead.
I don't want you. I want Adam Ruby.
I'll help you take him to Standish Falls. I kind of promised Bess I would.
Bess? What you got to do with it?
She's your wife. She's interested in your welfare. She doesn't want to see you make a mistake.
I ain't taking nothing from you, Bonner. Draw. Go on, draw.
You still the sheriff of Harness Junction?
I said draw!
All right, pull that trigger if you want to. But before you do, there's one thing you ought to know. When Lex pulled the gun on Roby, it was you he meant to kill.
Me? You're loco, Bonner. I'm his brother.
He hated you. And he had every right to hate you.
I got him covered, Bonner. I'll put the next one right between his eyes.
Roby, put that gun down. Come down here.
What?
You heard me. Holster that gun.
Roby, you're under arrest. I'm taking you to Standish Falls. You're welcome to come along, Vint.
one of those nights when the moon was so bright a man had trouble getting to sleep. Besides, I'd had a vague feeling the last hour or so that I wasn't the only one camping in the draw. Scar was acting rather spooky, just to let me know I wasn't overly happy about things. If there was someone there, he was managing to keep out of sight. Well, he could come out or he could stay put. Either way, I'd be ready, and I wasn't going to lose any sleep about it. I could see something now. A shadow.
Looking for something, mister? All right, hold it. I'll put a hole in your leg. Get over here by the fire so I can take a look at you.
Well, you're just a boy. Aren't you kind of young to be roaming around the country this time of night?
I ain't so young.
14, 15?
I'm only 13.
You're big for your age. What are you doing here?
Got as much right to be here as anyone else.
You haven't got as much right to be stealing my grub.
I didn't steal any.
That's what you were fixing to do, wasn't it? Of course, if you're hungry, you'd be welcome to some of these beans. That is, if you like beans.
Yes, sir. I sure like beans.
What's your name?
Rink.
You run away from home, Rink?
What makes you say that?
Well, you're 20 miles from the nearest settlement, and you're not out here just taking yourself a walk.
I ain't going back to Crescent Hill.
Crescent Hill, that your home?
Yes, sir. I ain't going back, that's all.
Eat your beans. Your pa give you a whipping?
Pa wouldn't hurt me. He's the finest man I ever lived.
Sure, all paws are.
Just because you gave me some old beans don't mean you can talk about
All right, calm down, calm down. Old enough to drink coffee?
Told you I was 13, didn't I?
That's right, you did. Funny the way I keep forgetting it.
I'm headed for Petersville to find Pa. He said when I was old enough I could join up with him. Well, I'm old enough now, ain't I?
Well, looks like you are. How come you haven't been with him all along?
He moves around a lot. I've been living with Aunt Aggie and Uncle Ray ever since Ma died. But that ain't the same as being with your own Pa.
No, I guess it isn't.
That's why I'm going to Petersville. Aunt Aggie got a letter from there last Monday. I heard her and Uncle Ray talking. But when they saw me listening, they shut up. They don't tell me nothing about Pa. So I'm going to find out for myself.
Well, since I'm headed for Petersville, too, I can't see any reason why we shouldn't travel together, can you?
No, sir.
And if we're going to be traveling companions, guess we ought to know one another. I'm Vint Bonner.
Vint Bonner?
That's right, son.
Mr. Bonner, if I'd have known who you was, I didn't mean to talk...
Don't worry about it, son.
Mr. Bonner, I wonder what I mean is... I've heard folks talk about that six-shooter of yours ever since I was a kid. Oh.
Sure, as long as you don't fire.
Ain't near as heavy as it looks.
You can handle a gun real well.
My pa taught me.
Well, we got a long ride ahead of us. If we're going to get any sleep, we better get to bed. You kicking your sleep, boy?
No, sir.
Good.
boy?
Mr. Bonner, I ain't never been in a hotel before.
That's always the first time, Ring. Come on.
Morning.
Morning.
You got a room?
Yep.
Room for two, still $50.
Yep.
Oh, here you are. Which room is it?
Number 5 is empty. Is it 6? No, it's 5.
What's your pledge?
Is this a tree or a weed, Mr. Bonner?
Well, that's a tree, a genuine palm tree, clear from California.
California? I ain't never seen nothing like that before.
Let's go see our room. What's the matter? Don't you like it?
Like it? It's elegant.
Well, good. Make yourself comfortable. Lie down if you want. I gotta go out for a little while.
Where you go, Mr. Bonner?
I gotta go pay the sheriff a little visit.
Sheriff?
What's the matter?
Nothing. Just don't like sheriffs, that's all.
Well, don't tell me they've been giving you trouble lately.
No. Just don't like them.
Well, I suppose there's good and bad sheriffs like everything else. But if your paw's in Petersville, then Sheriff Jay's most likely to know where to find him. So...
Help! Help! They shot Mr. Stanton!
Come on, Jeff. We got everything we want. Let's get out of here.
Help!
Frank, you stay here.
Get back here!
Just take it easy, Brownie. You're going to be all right now. Let's get him inside. Reeves, put him in my office. Now, real easy now, because he's hurt. Charlie, run up and get Doc Perkins down here right away. Tom, get my horse and bring it back over here. I'm going to need 6 of you men for a posse. Get your horses and get back here right away. The rest of you, get off the street. Joe, get over to the bank and see what you can do and stand guard there.
Howdy, Sheriff.
Hello, Vint. Good to see you, as usual.
How's Brownie?
Oh, he's just winged. He'll be all right. We'll talk later.
All right.
All right, let's go.
Sheriff couldn't help it, boy. He had a job to do.
Killing my pa. You call that doing a job?
Rink, you're gonna have to try to understand.
Your pa and those men, they were breaking the law. They were robbing a bank.
Nobody would ever let me see him. Why wouldn't they let me see him, Mr. Bonner? He was my father. Why couldn't I ever see him?
You're a man now, Ring. You're gonna have to learn to act like one.
The sheriff killed my father. He shot him out in the street, and that makes him a murderer.
Now, Ring.
A dirty, rotten murderer! It makes him a murderer! A murderer!
Ring, stop it. I'm sorry I had to hit you, Ring.
Why should you be? You're his friend, ain't you? He killed my father, and you're his friend.
Ring.
I'm sorry about that Larkin boy.
I was just going out looking for him.
Just wish it hadn't happened that way.
You couldn't help what happened out there any more than I could. What about the rest of the gang that took the bank?
Turned dark on us. We lost their trail. We'll pick it up again at daybreak. You, explain things to the boy?
I tried. I'm afraid I didn't do very good. He took off a while back.
Well, do you know where he went?
No.
Vint, that Larkin is a confirmed outlaw. Price on his head, notches in his gun. I couldn't help what happened out there. I got a job to do.
I know you got a job to do, Sheriff. How do I explain that to his son?
I don't know. Maybe when he gets a little older, he'll understand.
Trouble is, things don't wait for a person to reach the understanding age. They happen. Whether he's ready or not. I had a hunch where I'd find him. It was a hill out at the south end of town where they buried men like Jeff Larkin. Men who lived and died by the gun. You want some supper, Rink?
I'm not hungry.
How about coming back to town with me?
I'm staying here.
You can't stay here all night.
I'll stay here as long as I want. You're on that sheriff's side. You believe he was right to kill my pa.
People don't have sides, Rink. Not in a thing like this.
I do. I'm on my pa's side. I don't care what they say. He was a good man.
Maybe with you, your father was different than with other folks. Maybe with you, he was good.
I'm gonna make it up to him. I'm gonna get even with that sheriff.
Here,
Will you let me alone? Just stop John and let me be.
All right. If you change your mind, I'll be at the hotel. I didn't get much sleep. I kept expecting Rink to come back. Thought he'd change his mind after a couple of hours. But here it was daylight, and there hadn't been a sign of him. Rink!
Hey, Ben. Sheriff Jay.
Oh. Come on in, Sheriff.
Boy's not with you.
No. I haven't seen him since last night out by his father's grave. Why? Something the matter?
Thompson's store was broken into last night. No money stolen. But there's a revolver and some bullets missing.
Oh. I
Found some boot prints outside the back window. Not quite man-sized boot prints. They left a real clear trail. Too clear. Almost as if who left it intentional.
You think it was a Larkin kid, huh?
Yep.
Could be.
Tell me something. What's he doing stealing a gun and leaving a trail like that?
Maybe like you said, Sheriff. Maybe it was intentional.
That'd be foolish. Unless... Don't tell me he's got some fool notion about revenging his father.
He did say something about getting even.
Then he wants me to follow it. That way you'll get a chance to kill me, is that it?
That could be about it.
Jeff Larkin ain't the first man I killed, and he's deserved it more than most. But killing him didn't solve nothing. It just turned his boy bad.
What are you going to do about it?
What do you expect me to do? Go out there in the hills and shoot it out with a 13-year-old boy? I got one at home the same age. And if that Larkin kid was standing right there in the door covering me, I couldn't shoot him. I just wouldn't be able to shoot.
You'd shoot. Nothing else you could do. Which way'd the trail lead?
Black Canyon.
This the place they call Black Canyon?
Yeah. Don't know why either. The rocks here are the same color as anywhere else.
Names are funny things. I came through a town in Arizona once called Big Lake. Wasn't any water for miles around, not even a creek. It seems like the first settler that came through there said what they needed was a big lake. So wouldn't you know, that's what they named it? Let's move on a little further.
Don't move or you're dead. All right, now reach slowly for your guns and throw them on the ground. You first. Now you. That's right. Now take it real easy, Sheriff, and climb out of your saddle. Real easy, Sheriff, so I don't have to use this thing. That's the way to do it, Sheriff. Now you do the same. That's good. Now, both of you take a couple of steps away from your horses. Who are you, mister?
Name's Bonner. Vint Bonner.
Vint Bonner? Yeah, you're supposed to be pretty handy with a six-shooter. Too bad you won't get a chance to prove it. Thought we winged one of you back at the bank. That's right, you did. What happened to him? He's dead, just like Larkin.
How did you know Larkin was dead?
I don't know. I shot him.
You shot him? Have you seen anything of his kid?
Whose kid?
Larkin's kid, boy about 13.
I didn't know he had a kid.
We think he's out gunning for the sheriff here.
Sure takes after his old man, don't he?
How do you mean?
That was Larkin's trouble. That's why I got rid of him. He liked the gun too much.
I know what you mean. Not much you can do with them after they get that way, is there?
Ah, what's the difference? He'd have been killed sooner or later anyway. All I did was help it along.
You did that all right.
Me, I'm different. I don't enjoy killing the way Larkin did.
We sure are glad to hear that.
Of course, there are times when a man don't have much choice. Like now, maybe. My friend and I need fresh horses to break out of these hills.
Traeger, I got a posse out scouring these hills.
Only one way I know of getting horses and making sure you boys stay put. So, I guess I don't have much choice. No more than I had with Larkin.
Hello, Mr. Browning. Sheriff.
Hello, Rink.
You been up there behind that rock all this time?
You seen me there, didn't you, Mr. Bonner? You knew I was behind that rock. That's why you kept him talking about my pa.
I saw something. I was sure hoping it'd be you, Rink.
I'm glad I heard what he said, Mr. Bonner. Otherwise, I would have never known the truth about my pa.
I'll take this.
I'm awful sorry, Mr. Bonner. I'm sorry, Sheriff.
That's all right, son. We're mighty beholden to you. Get down over there where I can keep an eye out.
You handle the gun real good.
My pa taught me. I still can't believe he was that kind of man. He was always so good to me.
Well, maybe someday we'll understand that better. You ready to go home?
You two go on. I'll take care of things here.
Well, there's still a little matter of the hardware store, isn't there, Sheriff?
Well, I can take care of that. Place the boy in your custody.
Rink, about this custody business, it's not permanent, you know. Only till I get you back to your Aunt Aggie's. Maybe you'll get along better with her from now on, huh?
Yes, sir.
October and turning cool already. And I was headed for Yucaipa in the Red Rock country. I'd planned to pick up a few wild ponies. Also, I'd have a chance to visit my old friend, Doc Cross. A howling dog started it all. Anybody home?
Oh, you're a nice fella. Yeah, you're a nice boy.
Anybody home?
Oh, hold it, old fella. You got the wrong fella.
Maybe I have. Sorry. Something about the bushwhack makes me kind of cranky.
How did this happen to you?
I was gored by a butterfly.
Come on, I'll give you a hand. Take it easy.
Hey, Doc, they racked up another one of your committee.
Bring him in. Bring him right up here. That's it. Vint Bonner, am I glad to see you.
Hi there, Doc.
While you're socializing, the patient can bleed to death. The cotton boys? Who else? Come on. Come on. Look out. Take it easy.
How'd it happen, Tom?
My fault. They caught me napping.
This is the 5th this week.
What happened to the town of Harmony? It used to be a real peaceful place.
That was before Gus Cotton moved in.
He's a draw fighter. Used to ride with the Gibbons bunch out of Willow Fork.
What's he doing here?
I don't know. Maybe Tracer Gibbons is spreading out. All I know is he and his brother rode into town a couple of months ago.
Doc, are you for me or against me?
I'm sorry, Tom.
Oh, what's Sheriff Davenport doing about it?
George Davenport was killed last month, Vin.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Who's taking his place?
Well, we haven't got anybody else yet. Oh, give me that probe over there, will you? It's the third one on the right. Now, hold it. That's it, Tom. That's the one. That's the one. Thank you. We're electing the sheriff tomorrow, along with the mayor.
Who's running? For sheriff, that is.
Well, Ernie Schroeder, for one. Now, Tom, lie still if you can. You can yell, but lie still. And Gus's brother, Roy, is the other candidate. And anybody who is man enough to speak up for Ernie Schroeder gets this.
You've had your troubles, all right.
How about giving us a hand with them? I mean, just until the storm blows over, huh?
What?
I had a group of people that are working for Ernie Schroeder. The Citizens Committee to Keep Harmony in Harmony. That's what we call it. How about it, Ben?
Now, Doc, you know I'm not a resident. I can't vote.
Yeah, but you carry an awful lot of influence. I mean, if you were to come to the rally tonight and sit up on the platform next to Ernie Schroeder, you'd sure swing a lot of votes.
It's none of my business, and you know it.
Yeah. I guess you're right.
I mean, I just wouldn't feel right butting in.
Yeah. You staying at the hotel?
Oh, yeah. I want to stay around long enough to get a hot bath.
Well, the rally's up at the town hall. It's at 7:30, Ben.
Don't count on it.
Well, you know best.
You gonna be all right?
Oh, sure, you'll be all right.
Well, I'll see you before I leave.
Yeah.
Come in. I'm not through yet.
That's all?
Oh, I thought you were the kid come for the tub.
No, I ain't the kid come for the tub. I'm Roy Cotton. You heard of me?
Yeah, your name has been popping up all day. What can I do for you?
Well, I was just wondering if you're going to be around town for the election, Bonnie. You've heard about the election?
Yeah, that I have.
Well, then you must have heard that folks are asking me to run for sheriff. Not that I'm anxious for the job, you understand, but, well, folks kind of figured it was my duty, so, well, I thought I'd oblige them.
Well, look on the bright side of things. Maybe you won't be elected.
No, Bonner. I'm going to be elected.
Well, I can see that a nice, personable fellow like you'd get a lot of votes. Hand me that brush over there, will you?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll give you the brush.
Why?
I'll give you some good advice, too, Bonner. Saddle up right now.
Well, now, Doc mentioned something about a rally he was having tonight. Kind of asked me to come.
Bonner, you know, you go to that rally. You're just asking me and Gus to do something about you.
Maybe I am.
All right. You had your warning.
I'm not leaving town. So if you want to do anything about it, you better do it now.
I don't want to shoot up no hotel room, Bonner.
Room's paid for. In advance.
There's no rush. You just be out of town time sun goes down, Bonner. Oh, and I told Doc the same thing goes for him.
Well, I guess nobody relishes the idea of being told what he can do and what he can't. But mostly I was concerned about Doc Cross.
And so we come to our ticket.
It didn't look like the Citizens Committee to Keep Harmony in Harmony was doing much good.
Well, we got our candidate for mayor, our own good friend Cecil Potter. You all know Boke Spitzer. He's running for coroner. And now, last but not least, the man who's going to bring law and order back to Harmony, Ernie Schroeder. Well, I guess that's about all, folks. Wait a minute. I think we've got us a visitor. Yes, sirree. Vint Bonner. Come on up here, Vint. Vint Bonner. Come on.
Doc, I just want...
You're upset. Come on, Vint. Come on.
No, folks, in case you don't know it, this here is Vint Bonner. So, now we got real work to do. Because before polling time, I want every citizen in Harmony to know that Mr. Bonner here is on our side. Yeah.
Doc, if you only listen to me.
Now, we've got to spread the news that any man can vote the way he likes. Now, there's going to be no bribery, no double voting, and no intimidation at the polls. And anybody that tries to make it otherwise will have to answer to the 6-shooter. Now, look, we gotta organize to spread the word. Now, Amos, you take all the people west of Cedar Street. And, Kinney, you take the section down by the creek. And if they're asleep, wake them up. Now, I'll take the center of town, and all of you, just go on out and give the word. That's right. Go on. Oh, wait a minute. There's just one more thing. You tell everybody that Vint Bonner is going to be at the polls himself tomorrow, just to make real sure that this election is run honest and free. Goodbye.
Doc, you listen to me.
Oh, Vint, were you speaking to me?
You know darn well I was.
Oh, do you want something? Do you want some water, maybe? Huh?
No, I don't want any water.
It's very refreshing.
Doc, I'm not going to have people going around saying I'm interfering with their election, so you just call them back and tell them that before it's too late.
Oh, Ben, it's too late now. And I guess I better be running along, too, because I got a lot of people to talk to.
All right. You go right ahead. But tomorrow morning you're going to look awful foolish because I'm not going to be there.
I always reckoned you a man who set quite a store by his duty.
I do. And I figure my duty right now is to mind my own business.
All right, I give up.
You what?
Well, there's no hard feelings, Vint. Every man's got to do what he feels is right.
Hey, Doc, wait a minute. I think I winged one, Doc. You all right?
Never better. By the way, the polls open at 7 o'clock. Why don't you let your conscience be your guide? Good night, Vint. Good for you, Vint. I knew you'd come down to oversee the voting.
Well, I don't mind telling you I did some tossing and turning about it.
Oh, well, if it's interfering you're worrying about, just forget it. Because the town charter clearly states there should be a nonpartisan at the polls. I read up on it this morning.
Well,
start her off, Doc.
Yeah, all
You've been eating these lists.
Come on, man. Here you go. You sit right in this chair.
Looked like there was no way for me to wriggle out of it, so I sat me down and started checking off names. Well, the voting went real smooth that morning. There was just one shooting. That turned out to be a flesh wound. Then about 11 o'clock... Roy Cotton. You'd be Gus.
That's right.
Hey, why don't you boys just vote for Ernie Schroeder and make it unanimous?
No electioneering at the polls, Doc. That goes for you, too.
If he was to get it, no telling how long he'd last.
Gus. Gus, what do you think?
You should have gunned him when you had a chance. Come on.
Where to?
Willow Fork.
Place of Gibbons?
You know anyone better?
election?
Oh, that. Well, that's a little hard to say, Vince.
Hard to say.
Well, I mean, we had to have a complete recount. We just couldn't believe our first totals. As a matter of fact...
Look, did Ernie win or didn't he?
No, Vince, he didn't win.
Well, that's too bad.
It could have been worse.
You mean it was a close vote?
Well, I don't think we could call it exactly close. Do you, Tom?
Not exactly.
Well, what are the figures?
Well, in the race for sheriff, that's the one we consider the most important.
Yeah?
Ernie Schroeder only got 7 votes.
7? Is that all?
Yep. That was his total. We made certain.
And Roy Cotton got 33.
Oh, that's too bad, Doc. I'm sorry. I really am. But if the people elected him sheriff, maybe they deserve him.
Well, there's no other way to think about it.
Wait a minute. If Ernie got 7 votes and Cotton got 33, that's only 40 votes. There must have been twice that many cast.
101 in all.
Well, that leaves 60 ballots that are not accounted for.
61 to be exact. And that's how many you got.
Huh?
Vint, it gives me great honor to announce you've been elected Sheriff of Harmony by a landslide.
You're joshing, aren't you, Doc? Sure, you're joshing.
No, sir.
Well, but that's impossible. That couldn't happen.
Vint, the people have chosen. Now, Vint, there's a little rust on the points of this badge, but some polishing will take care of that.
Doc, if you had anything to do with this, I swear...
No. It was spontaneous, Vint. Absolutely spontaneous.
Fine. I've got me a spontaneous notion, too.
What's that?
I resign.
Oh, well, now, Vint, that's going to be a little bit of a problem. Because, see, you have to resign to the mayor. And we haven't got a mayor yet. Not until we swear you in.
Oh, that just shows how confused you are, Doc. You said I was elected sheriff, remember?
Seems like folks just got the habit of writing your name in.
You mean they elected me mayor, too?
By a 2-to-1 majority, Your Honor.
You didn't do so well for coroner, though. Both Spitzer beat you out by 4 votes.
Oh.
Well, I wouldn't feel too badly about that, Vin, because Boke's a very popular man, you know. And...
Oh, sure. I appreciate the honor. All those people voting for me. I really do. But I haven't the faintest idea of being sheriff or mayor.
But the people have made their choice.
They got stampeded, and I don't take it as much of a favor from you, Doc.
Oh, now, Vince.
Well, you can just have yourself another election. And you can elect yourself another mayor. And you can take that badge, and you can take it, and you...
Doc, you better come quick.
What's the matter?
It's Ernie Schroeder. They gunned him down in front of the hotel.
Who gunned him?
The Cotton Brothers and Tracer Givens. Hurry up, Doc. He's hurt bad. Real bad.
Vint, I'm going to have to leave him in this room for a while.
It's all right, Doc.
Who is it?
It's Vint Bonner. Now, take it easy.
Listen, Vint.
What is it?
They're in the saloon. 3 of them.
I never really thought I'd be wearing one of these.
Now, wait a minute, Vint. You were right. It's not your business. It's our problem. We got to solve it ourselves.
Now, look, Doc. Minding your own business is a good thing. But there's such a thing as carrying it too far.
Vint.
Yeah.
Givens is the fastest. Take him first.
I'll remember that.
Wait a minute. I'll go with you.
Don't take this wrongly, but should just be more for me to worry about.
So she turned. Mind you, she was all at 200 pounds. Sure. Come in. Come in. Friend of yours, Gus?
I've seen him before.
Well, step up to the bar. What's your pleasure?
This isn't a pleasure trip, Givens.
Well, just what kind of a trip would you say it was?
Official? It's an official trip. I've come to put you under arrest.
Well, now that's interesting. Just how do you plan to go about it?
Well, it'd make it a lot easier if you just put your hands up and come along with me quietly.
Well, it used to be even a lawman given.
You wouldn't know an even break if you saw one, Givens.
No sporting blood. Well, boys, looks like he's got it cold. Looks like we'll just... Thanks a lot. I had better take this. Hey, Doc, it's all over. Doc, it's all right.
Cease Potter had already been installed as mayor, and Ernie Schroeder was mending so fast there wouldn't be any time at all until he was ready to take over the sheriff's job. So the doc was happy. It looked like harmony had really come to harmony. Anyway, for a little while.